Hey guys, Colin here with another NASCAR Heat 3 video. In this video we're going to talk about the top 5 things I think we need in NASCAR Heat 3. So the first thing is more intelligent and competitive AI. For one, their pit strategy sometimes is just really stupid. I've seen them pitting on the white flag and just throwing the race by doing stupid things like that, or pitting with 2 to go with a stage, every single one of them, and then they fire to the back and they pit midway through the next stage. Things like that. Their pit strategy definitely needs to be improved. The other thing is knowing the AI needs to know where you are. A lot of times AI will force you into the wall, even if you don't have a rivalry. If you're racing in single player mode or not in career, they'll force you into the wall, they'll run you off the track, they'll just slam into you. They don't exactly know where you are too well. Now they are smart AI, they just need to know where you are a little bit better. So that's another thing for them to work on with the AI. The other thing is harder to race, especially in the Camping World Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. The Monster Energy Cup Series is not bad. At a lot of tracks they're really competitive and it is hard to race them, but in the Xfinity Series and Truck Series, it's just not difficult at all at a lot of tracks. You can usually 9 times out of 10 muster up a win, and that's a lot of time. That's a lot to win that much. So you shouldn't be winning that much, honestly. If the game is realistic at all with the difficulty of racing, then it should be more difficult across them all. Even the Monster Energy Cup Series, that one should be a little bit more difficult, but especially the trucks and the Xfinity cars. So the next thing they need to work on is better graphics. Now I know some people are like, graphics aren't that important, but how behind they are, it starts to get a little bit important. It almost looks embarrassing for the NASCAR racing community. So the first step they need to do with the better graphics is they need to fix the anti-aliasing, which is what makes the game look pixelated. Whether you're looking in the distance or right at the car, it looks really pixelated, and that is the anti-aliasing. There's really no anti-aliasing in the game, honestly, and they need to fix that because it looks terrible because of the pixelation. It just knocks out a lot of the realism because their textures and stuff and how high def their graphics are is great, but the anti-aliasing just isn't. So that's one thing they need to improve with graphics. The next thing you need to improve graphics is you need to get better lighting, better shadows, things like that. The lighting is kind of which impacts the shadows, which are kind of You can see them pixelated and stuff. They should be more HD. They need to make them HD and make it like global lighting is what they'll call it in a lot of games, which is where lighting impacts every object around you. So that's something they definitely need to do. The next thing is a longer view distance, which kind of goes into anti-aliasing, but it goes with the shadows too. Shadows disappear and get fuzzy about 500 feet in front of the car tops. They need to make that longer like all the other games, so hopefully that's another thing they can do, is a longer view distance. And the last thing with graphics is more 3D elements from the track, like dust when you get into the dirt, or grass dust when you get into the grass, stuff like that. More 3D, dust. We get smoke when we spin out, but there's more than that. If a car grazes the wall, some dust comes out, like dust cloud a little bit, and especially when you get into dirt or grass, so that'd be a great thing for them to add. The other thing would be, just to make the smoke a little bit better, but that's not a big deal. They improved it a little bit, so I'm sure they'll improve it a little bit more. The next thing, and a big thing, is better physics in NASCAR Heat 3. Physics that are more close to reality at all the tracks without assists would be awesome, where it's almost as real as it can get. Obviously not as realistic as iRacing, but somewhere close to it, like a really realistic experience when you're playing the game. The ability to really feel like you're racing a car and not have it be easy. It shouldn't be easy. The cars should be looser than they are. They're really tight in this game. The trucks, Xfinity cars, and Monster Energy cars, they all are different, and that's good, so they're slightly realistic, but just not enough. They need to get a lot better and more accurate, so when you're racing without assists, which when you're doing that, you just want the most realistic experience possible, you can get that. And the next thing you need to do is you need to tweak the draft physics to make them a little bit better. Slight improvements on the side drafts, and big improvements on the bump drafting, getting up to each other with Daytona and such. It's really good. Just a little improvements to it, so just make some tweaks to that, and that could definitely get a little bit better. Just try to make it be more like how it is in real NASCAR racing. The draft is almost too effective in this game, and in some scenarios it's not effective enough. It's kind of weird. Next thing is fix the apron and grass and how loose they are. This is one I see so many people complain about in NASCAR Heat 2, is the grass and the apron. You tap it with an inchier tire, which a lot of drivers do in real life to help the car turn. Your car's around. You're done. It doesn't matter. Your car is going around. Good luck saving it. Maybe 1 in 1,000 chance you save it. It's very difficult. I see people complain about it a lot, so they should definitely improve it. Now, it is loose, so they should keep it loose. They shouldn't race like the rest of the track, but they should definitely make it so that the apron and grass aren't as terrible as they are. Next thing is improve the restrictor plate physics. At Daytona, you can just fly through that pack, so the AI has to get a little bit smarter with the restrictor plates, which goes in more intelligent AI, but also goes to physics. Just make some slight tweaks to that. The improvements in NASCAR Heat Evolution and NASCAR Heat 2 with the restrictor plate racing was huge, so I'm pretty confident they'll nail it down in this game anyways, but just stuff they should add into it. and improve the crash physics to be more realistic. This is funny. You know when you spin out in a crash and you freaking fly up into the air and ping around and everything? That's not realistic. Need to fix that. That's a bad thing. It doesn't look good. It makes the game look pathetic when that happens. So hoping they improve the crash physics to be more realistic as well. The next thing on our top 5 list for what they need in NASCAR Heat 3 is a more in-depth career mode, which although this is already confirmed, this is some things they definitely need to add into the game. Start from the bottom, getting rides from random teams, part-time rides, like everyone starts out, and eventually get full-time rides in each series one at a time. You start in the K&N, you work your way up, and you get a little ride. It's like, hey, here's a race, see how you do. And if you don't do good, you have to wait for another offer later on. And the better you do, you'll get an offer quicker, and then you'll eventually be, getting a full-time ride, and then you'll eventually get offers to do some truck races. You do good there, you get a full-time ride, and just progress like that. Kind of like what they had in Heat 2, but more extreme. The ability to spend money on buying a racing team and building it up would be a great feature for them to add too. It gives you a real purpose to your money. Basically, you create a team in each series. As you get money to do so, you start with K&N, you work your way up to Truck, Xfinity, and Monster. You build a team in each every one, so you have like a huge motorsports team. And you hire drivers, you ride your own car in it, you can hire people to ride cars if you don't want to race K&N anymore, just all sorts of stuff like that gives so much depth to career mode and the ability to build your own team, kind of like what Tony Stewart and Haas did. That's just a wicked cool feature that they should definitely look into adding. And then the ability to sell merchandise and other things like that. That was a thing they had in NASCAR 2005 and some other NASCAR games, which added some cool stuff to it. You could adjust your merchandise prices and that would affect sales. You'd get more sales if it was cheaper, less sales if it was more expensive, but depending on how good you were doing, you get a lot of sales, and then you could sign autographs and all sorts of cool stuff. So just adding that in-depth thing to the game, relationships with other drivers that are a little more in-depth than the rival system, that would just be an awesome feature. And then, whatever else they can think of just to make it more in-depth and more personable in career mode. Next thing, and this is the top request I see around, dirt racing. Now we have Eldora, and we might get some other racetracks, but to have a dirt race section series in it where most drivers do start out in dirt racing league, like sprint cars or something like that, where you believe, even if it's just like a mini series, it's not even completely modeled after a real one, it's just like street stocks or something, and you just run a couple dirt tracks they throw into the game. That'd be a great thing to add in. Many NASCAR fans want dirt racing back into games, and that gives you, some people like dirt racing and don't watch NASCAR, and they don't buy the NASCAR games because there's no dirt racing in it. Get the dirt racing in it, they might start playing the dirt and then progress up, and they might start liking NASCAR. You never know. It's a big, snowball effect in a good way that could happen with dirt racing. It'll add a great element to the game that'll be more realistic of career mode, and you going up and progressing the way up the way most people do in NASCAR racing. And dirt racing is entertaining overall. It's just entertaining, fun to do, and it'll be a great addition to NASCAR Heat 3. So these are the things I think they should add to NASCAR Heat 3, the top 5. So overall, just to sum through it, more intelligent AI, more competitive AI, better graphics, fix the anti-aliasing, better physics with drafting, and just realism with the car, of how tight and loose it is, and things like that, adding the track bar, a more in-depth career mode where you start from the bottom, work your way up, the ability to potentially own a team eventually, and dirt racing, where you ride around dirt sanctioned league. That would be a great feature. Now, I'm pretty confident in the first 4. I have no word on the last one. Obviously, there's going to be graphic improvements. Obviously, the AI is going to improve. Obviously, physics are going to get tweaked to be better. And we already know, and they have reiterated, career mode will be more in depth. So this is the top 5 things we need. Some of it might be happening, some of it might not. Hopefully the developers see it, take a look at it. Let me know what you guys thought of it. If you think there's anything else they should add, sure, leave it in the comments. And leave a like on the video and subscribe and click that notification bell. I really appreciate all the support we've received lately. It's been awesome. I've really appreciated it. Going up on average, some days we're up 10 subscribers, some days we're up 100, 50, 40, 30, 10, 19, just all over the place with great growth, which is awesome. I'm so excited for what the future of this channel will bring. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to leave a like, rate, and subscribe below, click the notification bell. And if you did enjoy this video, like I said, be sure to share it out, share out the channel if you want, subscribe. It's very important, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of June, so hopefully we can get there. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until next time.